So we got the second episode of the Book of Boba Fett last night, and let me just start out by saying this. I am now officially, after 2 watches, declaring this to be one of the best episodes of Star Wars television that we have ever had out of the many different television shows, including the animated ones that we have had in this franchise. Which is why I am also saying right now, I have not yet seen what anybody has said online about it, but I can only assume that a lot of people probably liked it way more than the first episode, and are now on board for the show. And so I wanted to start off this review by saying, had the very beginning of this episode been a little better with its dialogue and tone, this potentially could have ended up being right up there as a top 3 episode of all time for Star Wars television. Right now, after 2 watches, I would firmly put it in the top 10 personally. Well, let's talk about that beginning. So, we start off right where we left off, where Fennec has taken one of the assassins prisoner after they tried to kill them both in the last episode. They get the guy to admit what he was there for, and so they take them to the mayor, and this is where the tone and the dialogue really started to bother me a little bit, and where I kind of started to get a little worried for this episode. And we see as they arrive at the mayor's place, and the very first person they talk to, who is standing behind a desk, gives off some of the weirdest behavior and dialogue that made no sense to me, and you could tell was playing it off for jokes, and I just couldn't tell if this was being serious or not, and I just didn't like the tone it set. And we also get the Twi'lek guy from the last episode, who is basically the right-hand man to the mayor, and I'll be honest with you, I don't really know if I like this character at all. I can't tell if the actor in the way he executes the dialogue, or if it was just the way he was directed by... I just don't know. I can't tell. I'm really not keen to liking this character so far. I hope he gets better over time with every passing episode if we ever see him again. So that was just one little problem I had with the beginning of this episode. But once we get past that scene, that is when, to me, this episode gets better and better and better with each passing second, with each scene we get. So right after Boba and Fennec leave and head back to the bar from the last episode, they find out that the 2 Hutts, known as the Twins, are trying to take back over on Tatooine. And I'm not gonna lie, this was very interesting. And what made it even better is once I saw this Wookiee come out from behind them, and I'm not even kidding, I was kind of losing my mind. I don't know what the deal is here with this Wookiee, but wow, this was so cool to look at. Because of course, what makes this so interesting is that in the Star Wars universe, we really don't explore this species a whole lot, I feel. And we've seen many different kinds of Wookiees do many different things. And this one, as Boba calls them out as, looks kind of like a gladiator of sorts. The armor he had on and the gun he was holding. From what I could tell, he didn't look like a bounty hunter, but he did look like the right-hand man of those Hutts, and a very big and really scary looking right-hand man at that. So I am eagerly looking forward to seeing more of him down the line, because I can only assume that we will see those characters again, now that they will probably play a very interesting plot point for the rest of the season. And so of course we get now to the rest of the episode, which takes place all in Boba's flashbacks, where we see him learning the ways of the Tuscan Raiders and basically trying to fit in with their lifestyle and how they do things. We also see that the Raiders are having trouble with, let's just say, their surroundings with other people invading their spaces, and we see that there are 2 main groups of people who are committing crimes all around, and Boba wants to help the Raiders. He goes to a bar where one of these groups is kind of wreaking havoc upon the locals, and he beats them all to hell in this scene, which was really cool, and he steals their speeder bikes to take back to the Raiders, and which we get a scene of him teaching the Raiders how to ride the bikes. And look, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, this is definitely something I never thought I'd see in the Star Wars universe, which is Tuscan Raiders riding speeder bikes. Because, of course, if you know, the Tuscan Raider species is normally a more tribalistic culture of people, and they don't really use a lot of the technology that you see in everyday Star Wars, like a speeder bike. So not only was seeing Boba teach them how to ride them very unnatural, but it was also really cool at the same time, so I really liked that. We also come to find out the other group of people that they are having problems with are riding basically this ridiculously fast train across the desert, and Boba wants to help them stop it. So this is maybe where we get the best part of the entire episode, which is Boba and the Tuscan Raiders trying to take down arguably maybe the fastest moving train that we have ever seen in Star Wars, at least on screen anyway. And while at first I thought legit there is no way this could ever happen if it was just the Tuscan Raiders, but when you got a guy like Boba Fett on your side, then you've got a chance. And what follows is basically one of the better action sequences I think I have ever seen in Star Wars in recent time, especially from the TV side of things. I love the way that this entire sequence was shot. You could tell what was going on, and there was no shaky cam, even though, yes, they were on a moving train, so sometimes the camera would slightly shake, but it wasn't too much to the point where you couldn't tell what was happening. The action and the choreography was stellar, and let me just say, to those Tuscan Raiders, they take a punch, because sometimes you'll see them get shot and they don't even go down. They just take it like it's nothing. But we've actually seen that Boba, with the help of the Raiders, is able to take down this train, which is being run by what looks like another criminal syndicate group, who, again, I don't know the name of the species off the top of my head. At first, I thought they were pikes, but then I realized these are not pikes. I think this is another species, but I could be wrong about that. Maybe they are pikes, and this is just what they look like in live action form. But after taking them down here, basically he punishes them by sending them all way back to where they came from by walking all the way back through the desert, which was just about right coming from a guy like Boba to give some sort of punishment. We then see one of the coolest scenes in the entire show so far, which was basically Boba being included into the tribe's rituals and him getting a new set of clothes and, of course, his stick, his weapon that we saw him beat stormtroopers to death with in The Mandalorian Season 2. The episode concludes with him being involved in one of the tribe's dances, and then we cut to the credits. And there you have it. That is episode 2 of the Book of Boba Fett. Guys, I'll say it again. I really love this episode. This is by far one of the best episodes of Star Wars television I think we have ever had. And in such a great way, it is such a great way to bounce off the first episode, which was very divisive for a lot of people. A lot of people liked it and some didn't. But now looking back on it, I think that was maybe the best way you could have started this show. So now I'm looking forward even more to the next episode coming up from week to week. Guys, I've got nothing more to say about this episode 2 of the Book of Boba Fett. With that, I wanted to know how you guys thought about it down below in the comment section. Did you like this episode? I really want to know your thoughts. And as always, if you like this video and you want to see more of it, be sure to hit that like button. And if you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and turn on that notification bell. I will see you guys all in the next episode review and breakdown. Peace.